Oh, hi there. I wanted to make a little bit of a commentary on the matchup between the Vancouver Canucks, hosted by the Florida Panthers. From what I saw, it seemed to be somewhat of a close game. I didn't watch the whole game, obviously. Don't have buds, don't have pizza, so I got a disadvantage to invest in that kind of time to watch an NHL hockey game when I could be learning more about NHL and everything it's about on a grander scale. You know, some people, they go, well, you're not a true hockey fan if you don't do it that way, but I beg to differ. Anyway, this game, right now the Canucks are really trying to push Elias Pettersson. He's talented. He can score goals. Can he keep it up? I would like to think so. Is he going to end up back in the minors? Probably not at this point in time, based on how well he's done. The Canucks have their organization have put him forward, and he's getting goals right now. Again, it's way too early in the season to just decide if someone's good or not. But I am noticing that a lot of his goals are quite similar to Brock Besser's goals. He's got time, he's got space, he's got options to shoot. And that's how he was able to score those goals. From the distance he was in today's game against Florida, he had all the time in the world, and he had time to pick his shot. Brock Besser, in his position, would have scored that goal. It's good that Elias Pettersson got that goal, but I'm saying Brock Besser in that position would also have gotten that goal. I'm not trying to knock the kid down a peg or two, but it's somewhat starting to look like the revival of the Swedish Vancouver Canucks, and I'm not for it for various reasons. And it shouldn't have anything to do with Elias Pettersson that he's Swedish, but it kind of does. Because, the corruption of money and corporations and that kind of stuff. Anyway, there were some things I noticed. Like Alexander Edler, he's a man who typically he takes hits for supposed boneheaded plays. He went to take he blocked a shot, and I believe it was by Tocchet of the Florida Panthers. He was able to block it, and John Garrett was saying had it gone through, Anders Nielsen would have stopped it. Now, Anders Nielsen he's a backup goalie at best, so that is a question mark whether he would have stopped it, and it's a hypothetical as well, based on, rebounds and things like that, and Alexander Edler did what he was supposed to do. And why this is important is because I'll explain in the next little bit, which is Jay Beagle went to block a shot, and I forget the guy who scored. It may have been Tocchet. Tocchet may have scored the second goal and not the first. As a matter of fact, it probably was Tocchet. I'm getting confused here for a second, hold on. Anyway, the point is, Jay Beagle went for the block, and he didn't block it. And it went through, and it went past Anders Nielsen. So, in my opinion, Alexander Edler had done his job to the best of his abilities, and Jay Beagle, not much younger than him, did not. He did not block the shot, and players who block shots, that will stop dead in its tracks probably about 75% of goal chances if they're able to block the shot and it doesn't deflect off of them into the net. I mean, plenty of times where it's gone off a skate or a shoulder pad or a knee pad or whatever and gone into the net. But this time with Alexander Edler, it was a rebound that unpredictable, and it landed on the stick of the Florida Panther player that scored. I believe it was Tocchet. Should have wrote down notes or something, but I didn't. Anyway, Anton Roussel, supposed to be the big tough guy they bring in, reminds me a lot of Darcy Hordichuk and players of similar nature as him. He was on a breakaway, he got hooked, and was allowed a penalty shot. And when I saw him going about how he was going to do his penalty shot, I went, this guy could actually score goals. If he was on the front line, he's fit, he's tough, he knows how to skate, and he knows how to shoot. He could actually score goals, but, you know, because of monetary reasons and NHL politics, he will never be, you know, a player that scores more than 15 goals, and that's at best. But what I saw there in his penalty shot, I went, this guy could easily get 20 goals if they, you know, redesignated his position on the Vancouver Canucks. They won't, because he's supposed to be the sandpaper, as the hockey guy would say. So he'll probably get, you know, probably about 10 goals at the most. Probably not even that. And he was so elegant as he was skating, and when he took the shot at the right time, and he was able to score a goal. And you know, I mentioned Darcy Hordichuk because him along with Rick Rippon were able to score a goal, and it was an amazing goal. I believe it was Rick Rippon who scored it years and years ago. And I even forget against which team. I think it was against Anaheim or something like that. And it was a magnificent goal, and it's like, what is inhibiting those talented players from doing that more often? Is it ice time? Is it because the coach doesn't want them for that particular job? Or what's going on here? I did notice that, and you know, this is early on in the season, so, you know, this is getting everyone pumped up for Anton Roussel. And it's like, oh, gee whiz, man, he didn't do that much. He scored a goal and they won a game early in the season. Thank you, but you have to kind of keep it up. You can't go, well, they'll forget in a few weeks' time, and, you know, they'll reconfigure how the team is portrayed by then. And it's like, no, man, some of us hockey fans are going to remember that sort of thing, and not necessarily me. I mean, the other guys are going to remember those sorts of things. And if Anton Roussel blunders in the future, you know, people are going to know. And Jay Beagle, like I said, Alexander Edler was the better defensive player in that situation because he actually blocked the shot. It didn't get through to Anders Nielsen, unlike Anton Roussel, Jay Beagle, I should say, Jay Beagle. Jay Beagle went to block the shot, and he didn't block it. It went right through to Anders Nielsen. And the goal wouldn't happen. And, you know, like, I understand blocking shots is a very risky, dangerous business because you gotta look and then turn your head right away when you know the puck's flying at you, and that could be a split second because you don't want that hard piece of rubber, plastic, whatever pucks are made of, they're hard stuff. You don't want that smacking you in the face, ever. So it is a risky situation. However, Alexander Edler is the better shot blocker. Even if the deflection off of him landed on the stick of another Florida Panther and they were able to capitalize, I think it was Chalkett. I gotta double check, because I think it was Chalkett. What I'm saying is, good game. Very nice for the Vancouver Canucks to win that game. Florida Panthers, I don't know how the rest of the game went, but maybe they could have brought their A game with them. I don't know. And Elias Pettersson, I think he's a talented player and he's got a bright future ahead of him, but I believe Brock Besser is better than him. And his goals were ones that Brock Besser could have scored had he been in the same situation as him. And you may note that Roberto Luongo was not in net. Somehow I think I missed that chapter. That maybe he's injured or something. I don't know. You know, I got other things on my mind, so I don't exactly remember if Roberto Luongo was injured or was he just on the bench for that particular game. I don't know. It was one or the other for sure. But, yeah, anyway, He didn't play tonight as far as I know, and I didn't watch the game in case you didn't guess. I watched highlights on the YouTube, and if the Canucks can keep up that kind of effort and keep winning games and things like that, that would be a good thing. And it'd be nice to know what face-off percentages are like and other statistical information that, had I been bothered, I could have looked up myself, but I didn't. So anyway, to sum this all up, it's very nice the Vancouver Canucks won. Brock Besser doesn't have as many points as Ehlers Pettersson. However, you give him a little bit of time, a little bit of space, and he most certainly could surpass them quite easily. Regardless of Team Sweden and everyone who sucks up to the Swedes mentality. And I'm not knocking on Ehlers Pettersson. I'm just saying that, maybe we got to turn a chapter in Vancouver Canucks history and get past Team Sweden for things to make things work. And I know I mentioned Alexander Edler earlier, but that was in different context. So anyway, go Vancouver Canucks. Thank you for winning a game on the road against the Florida Panthers and making your fans at home really appreciate being Vancouver Canucks fans. And I'll talk to you guys later. Have a good one.